If you're thinking of buying a house, then one of the most important considerations is how much you'll need to pay in total. Remember, you have to factor in other costs besides your property, such as ground rent, maintenance, appraisals, etc. Nevertheless, there's no getting around the fact that the largest expenditure will be the house itself. So it's a good idea to check what kind of help you can get to make it easier on your finances. So, what kind of help is there? Well, the government has a scheme for first-time buyers known as Help to Buy. The Help to Buy comprised of 4 schemes: a Help to Buy ISA, shared ownership, equity loan and mortgage guarantee. Help to Buy ISA is no longer available, but for educational purposes I'll explain how it used to work. If you open a Help to Buy ISA before November 2019, which was the closing date of the scheme by the way, then for every £1 you put in, the government would contribute 25p. That is a quarter of your savings. Take note, however, that there are the following limits. When you open an account, you can deposit a lump sum up to £1,200 and your maximum monthly contribution is £200. The government starts contributing when you reach £1,600 and with a quarter of that is £400. And finally, the maximum government contribution is capped at £3,000. That is when your savings has reached £12,000. Now, all the 25% contribution sounds great, but that's not the same as a 25% return. Remember, return compounds, but contribution doesn't. Also, to get to that £12,000 savings with a monthly limit of £200, it means you would have to contribute for 54 months straight away. That is 4.5 years. So saving money for 4.5 years to earn 25% at the end is good. But it's not as good as it sounds, because that might sound misleadingly high. It's almost the equivalent of investing in an index fund with an annual return of 9%. But notice I said almost, because obviously with an index fund, your investment is at risk. The second scheme in the Help to Buy program is shared ownership. Unlike what the name suggests, you won't be sharing the property with someone else, not physically at least. The shared ownership concept revolves around a housing association owning the property, which they will part sell and part rent to you. How much you want to own and how much you want to rent is up to you and your preferences and abilities, but typical ownership is anywhere between 25 to 75% of the property. Over time, as you manage to put some money aside, you can increase your share of the property all the way to 100%. Where it's yours finally. This process is known as staircasing. So what's the catch? Well, there's an eligibility criteria. So your household income cannot exceed £80,000 if you're outside London or £90,000 if you're in London. This means that if you and your significant other are both making a joint application, both your incomes will count towards that threshold. Okay, so you can't get a Help to Buy ISA anymore, or perhaps your combined household income exceeds £90,000, which means you don't qualify for shared ownership. So what else is there that you can use? Well, the third scheme of the Help to Buy is equity loan. Yes, equity loan. It's equity and it's also a loan. Equity loan, get it? No, me neither. But here's what they mean with a nice simple example. Say you're thinking of buying a £200,000 property. Usually, you would need a deposit of say 10% and take a mortgage on the 90% left. Well, that's if you're lucky, as most likely lenders will ask for a higher deposit. Then your interest payments on your mortgage will be quite substantial because after all, it's a big value. But that's where the equity loan comes in. So instead of taking a loan on 90% of the property value, the government will lend you up to 20% of the property value if it's outside of London and 40% of the property if it's in London. The government loan comes with a 5-year zero interest rate. From year 6 onwards, you'll need to make payments, but they can be interest-only payments, meaning you don't have to pay back the loan itself until much later. So because the government is lending you 20% or 40% of the property depending where you live, you only need to contribute 5% as a deposit and take a mortgage on either 55% or 75% of the property value. This means your mortgage will be much cheaper. Sounds like a fantastic opportunity. I can almost hear you say, Amish, I think it's a great idea. I'm going to go and buy a property using equity loan right now. To which I say, hold on dear, because I think it's a terrible idea, and I'll tell you more about it in my next video. Which means you should subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss the video. Thank you for watching, and until next time.